A very good evening and a warm welcome to all the crypto enthusiasts. I would like to welcome you all to the land of Cryptoverse. I'm Rekha Khan, your host for the webinar, and we have with us Mr. Milan and Mr. Ajoy, expert on crypto and blockchain, joining us for the event today. Today, we are going to be talking about top indicators of cryptocurrency. On joining, you all would notice that you are in mute. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, please write them on the chat section. At the end of the webinar, we would be holding a Q&A session where all the queries of the participants would be answered by the speakers. From the creator of Odin, MCX, IEX, here is yet another credible exchange-neutral platform a user can rely on while walking towards the path of crypto and blockchain understanding. Starting from education to knowledge to all the latest news, all covered under one super app, CryptoWire. From a novice to a professional trader, every market participant can have a slice of information readily available on the touch of their fingers. Let me first walk you through the world's first crypto university, Crypto TV, and CryptoWire services. We all know that crypto and blockchain ecosystem is emerging at an immense speed, and to keep a track of all the events, prices, news looks to be difficult. So what if we have an app like our buddy who walks with us, thinks like us, responds to what we expect? Yes, you heard me right. Your own global crypto super app, CryptoWire. Let me now take you through the app briefly. Here is the global crypto super app, CryptoWire. Let's start with the home page of the app, which has covered all the three pillars: Crypto University, Crypto TV, and CryptoWire. Under the CryptoWire services, we have rolled out our first global index of crypto, IC15. Yet another feature in CryptoWire, which is a feather in our hat. It tracks the performance of the top 15 cryptocurrencies globally based on market capitalization. Crypto enthusiasts and the crypto traders can take the informed decisions based on IC15. WireWatch. In this section, we can monitor the best exchange to buy and the best exchange to sell a particular cryptocurrency. In the center of the screen, we can also monitor the arbitrage opportunity available between the two exchanges for the same cryptocurrency. There are close to 350 plus cryptocurrencies listed in our platform. And we have 70 plus crypto exchanges worldwide. Coming to the second pillar of our app, which is Crypto TV. It's an exclusive 24/7 mobile IPTV covering everything on crypto and blockchain ecosystem. It is currently available in 4 languages: English, Hindi, Gujarati, and Marathi. Now let's talk about Crypto University. Being the world's first digital university to offer courses on crypto and blockchain, you can find the best courses offered by MIT Harvard on a single click of the app. Now with this, I would like to introduce to you all our first speaker of the day, Mr. Milan. He is going to be introducing us to the top indicators of cryptocurrency. Milan, the founder of Chart Wizard, FZE, and Gemstone Equity Research and Advisory Services, Milan has over 2 decades of experience in financial market. His core area of expertise includes portfolio consulting, funds management, and advisory services. Milan also authored one of the India's most accurate newsletter, Daily Weekly Market Outlook. Along with being featured as a commentator on stockcharts.com, he has presently contributed his views on financial markets to Economic Times and Money Control on a daily basis. He is an CMT chartered holder, and it is recognized globally as a rigorous and comprehensive study program in the field of investment management and research analysis. He is also holding Series 15 certification issued by SEBI and is registered as a research analyst. Milind also serves as a member of the regulatory committee formed under the CMT Association, India. Join me in welcoming Mr. Milind for today's webinar. Hi, sir.
Yes, Rekha. Many thanks for introducing me. I hope I am audible.
Absolutely, sir. You are audible.
Great, wonderful. So many thanks and good evening to all those who have participated today. And it's my pleasure to be here on this platform. And I thank Crypto TV and I thank CryptoWire for having me here. So I think should we start with the session today?
Absolutely, sir.
Great. I hope the screen is visible.
It is visible.
Great. So today I plan to talk in brief about a basic introduction to the cryptos and some basic trading methods that we can deploy and navigate the cryptocurrencies, which are very famous for being very highly volatile stuff. So let's begin.
Sure.
Well, I'm Milind Vaishnav, your host for today. Rekha has introduced me, so I'll be skipping this. So in today's session, we will be discussing a couple of points. To begin with, we will discuss about how do we go on dealing with the cryptocurrencies and trading with trading in cryptocurrencies. I will walk you through a very basic introduction to the top two cryptocurrencies. We'll be discussing about use of technical indicators while trading in cryptos. I'll also walk you through one of the methods that we use to make trading decisions when it comes to trading in cryptos. So we will then discuss the indicators or the main ingredients of what the system will be made up of, which we can go ahead and deploy in our personal trading. I'll explain the construction, the use and the interpretation of those tools. And in the end, I would encourage everyone to have some questions so that either you can key in the chat box or you can forward it to the moderator. And I'll try and answer to each one of them to the best of my ability. So when it comes to dealing with the cryptos, one thing, unlike stocks, it is something very different from stocks. And the main difference, the main way in which the cryptos differ when it comes to trading with or when it comes to they being compared with any other asset classes is the absence of fundamental data. The way we have fundamental information in, say, for example, a company stock, we know the company, we have the management data, we have the P&L, the business, and all sorts of being a technical analyst, I won't be able to speak too much on the fundamentals, but we have a fundamental data of such asset class, whether it's a company or a commodity or whatever it is. And but in case of cryptos, the most unique thing about them is that there is virtually absence of any fundamental data, and it's purely the demand and supply that affects the prices. And when there is only a demand and supply that affects the prices, and when there is total absence of fundamental data, the only tool that remains which can help us to navigate it would be technical analysis. So technical analysis, I would say that it's the only tool that can be effectively and gainfully fruitful when it comes to trading the cryptos. So there are two ways when we start looking at the cryptos. We will find short-term traders who will trade on short-term patterns or short-term time frames, and there are people who buy and keep the coins in their wallet for some time or from medium to long term with an expectation of appreciation in the prices. So I'll first deal with the second half, that if you are from that segment who would like to buy a coin or buy a crypto, whether in fraction or in full, and do not wish to trade but store it in your wallet for with an expectation of future appreciation in the prices, then there are basic things that we need to take care of, that I would advise these people to avoid using complex technical indicators. There is no need to have adopt a very a complex kind of mechanism when it just comes to making basic I'll not call it investment, but basic storing of the cryptos. And one should also not look at the shorter time frames. What I would suggest for this segment is that, for example, you are a person who would invest for a short to medium term in the stock markets and have a similar kind of investment mentality, or one who would like to store assets like gold for a medium to long term and would like to deal in the crypto in a similar fashion. I would first suggest them to get acquainted with the basic concepts of technical analysis and resort to identification of you know uh, um, basic supports and resistances, and this would be enough for them. And I would advise avoiding any use of complex technical indicators. For example, I wish to say, for example, I'm interested in Ethereum. Why Ethereum? Because it's not let's use a common sense approach that most of the people would like to think in that way, is that bitcoin I cannot afford. It's very costly. If I want to own a full bitcoin, it's the hell lot of costly. So let me look at Ethereum. So now, why Ethereum? Because Ethereum, when compared to bitcoin, it's the second largest crypto when in terms of the market capitalization. So how will I go about if I want to buy Ethereum and store it with an expectation of appreciation in the future price value? So what I'll do, that I'll not adopt any complex technical indicators, any complex system, but I would just acquaint myself with identification of patterns and supports on the charts. I will just educate myself with very basic concepts of technical analysis. So this I'm explaining you with this example. This is a weekly chart of Ethereum. So if I'm not interested in any kind of short-term trades, then I would consider here entering above the moment the prices went above the 200 DMA. This is where the 200 DMA is, and we can see it rising and forming a pattern. Now, if I'm planning a fresh entry, then I see that these are the points which are offering resistance to the Ethereum prices. So I will wait for a breakout to happen, and if the prices are above this resistance line and sustaining above that, I may considering buying Ethereum and storing it for some medium to long term holding horizon. So coming or rather summing up what I just said here is that if you are not a trader, do not confuse or burden yourself with learning very complex technical indicators and applying multiple indicators, multiple tools, oscillators, but rather I would encourage this segment to try and learn the basics of technical analysis, learn how a trend is identified, learn where will you spot basic support levels and basic resistance levels, and this will go a long way in making an effective entry or exit when it comes to holding the crypto for a medium to long term. Now let us move to the segment who would like to trade in cryptos. We know that crypto offers tremendous volatility, and therefore it often offers us a huge trading opportunities. And there is a huge segment who is out there to exploit this. So now let us focus on some basic trading method. There are more than one trading methods that we have been using personally, and there will be more than one trading methods that you all as an individual must be using it. So it's virtually not possible to discuss each and every method or each and every system. So I'll just present you with a basic trend following system wherein you can try and follow the trend, whether it's on the moving higher or it's trending lower. So unlike the previous segment of an investor or who is not a trader and who is looking at storing the coin for a longer time. But if you are out to trade in the cryptos, you will need to go beyond learning the basics of technical analysis. You will need to have a technical analysis based methods in place. You will need to have something like a trend following method, and you will need to know and learn about different oscillators and indicators that technical analysis offers, so that you can go ahead deploying them in making your trading decisions. So in the basic system that we will discuss two lagging indicators, that would be MACD and Parabolic Sar, and we would be dealing with RSI, which is a leading indicator. So by making a dynamic mix of this, we will try and I'll try and show you how they can be deployed in our day-to-day trading. But before we move on and go about using these indicators, these oscillators into our trading methods, I think it becomes imperative for us to know that what indicators are these, how are they constructed, and how do we go about interpreting them. Because unless you don't know the anatomy of the indicator, you will not be able to use it in a I'll call it, you will not be able to adopt a knowledge-based approach, which I would very strongly suggest that we all should adopt. So let's know our indicators first. RSI, that is Relative Strength Index. And before I move ahead, I would like to reiterate that we are talking about Relative Strength Index and not Relative Strength. RSI and not RS. RS is entirely different. RS, when we talk about relative strength, it is something which is used in comparing two instruments, whereas RSI measures the internal strength of the instrument on which it is plotted. So we are not talking about RS, we are talking about RSI. RSI, basically it's a momentum indicator that would measure the speed and the change of the price movements. And unlike relative strength, as I just pointed out, it's a bound indicator. So it moves between 0 and 100. It cannot go infinity into negative or infinitely into the positive territory. It's a bound indicator. Therefore, it is also known as oscillator. Oscillators are basically bound. They are not unbound, they are bound. So RSI, unlike relative strength index is a bound indicator which moves or oscillates between 0 and 100. Values of 70 and above are considered overbought, and values below values of 30 and below are considered oversold. And it's usually calculated over the 14 period. I mean, if you're using a daily chart, we can call it 14-day RSI. If you are plotting it on the weekly chart, we can call it 14-week RSI, and so on. And I would suggest sticking to the default values while deploying these indicators. That it can be changed if it is suiting your system, but we have been using the default value when it comes to dealing with the RSI. And its calculation is pretty simple. It is what we take is that we take the average gain of first 14 days and average losses of last 14 days. And that gives us RS, that is relative strength. And using this formula, we usually calculate the RSI. It's not necessary to remember the formula, but what we should remember is that it is it's a leading indicator. Leading indicator means it's the price that will follow the RSI, not the otherwise. RSI will not follow the price. It will be the price that follows the RSI. So the indications, the patterns, the breakouts appear on this indicator much before they appear on the price. So RSI is something that we will use. Then we will use MACD, that is also very commonly known as MACD, or people also call it MACD. I mean, they speak out, and it's known as basically it's moving average, conversion, and divergence. It is I mean, both of a trend following indicator and a momentum indicator as well, because how MACD is constructed is that actually we take out 26 period exponential moving average and 12 period exponential moving average, and we take the sum. So that sum becomes the MACD line, and we take another 9 period SMA of that MACD line, which becomes the signal line. So it offers the best of both worlds. It actually, being a lagging indicator, it's a trend following indicator, because by lagging I mean the patterns, the breakouts, and everything is seen first on the price, and then this indicator follows. So it's a lagging indicator, and the deployment of exponential moving averages also makes it a momentum indicator as well. So and the primary use of this indicator is that traders can look for signal line crossovers, and they also try and spot divergences, and MACD is unbound indicator. So unlike RSI, you cannot have any overbought or oversold values, but essentially it's a lagging indicator, and essentially the core use of this is to identify the trend and recognize or identify the change in momentum as and when it occurs. As I just explained, MACD line is the difference between the 12-day and the 26-day exponential moving average, and the signal line is the 9-day exponential moving average of the MACD line. So this is again not something that all traders should try and remember the formula, but what we should remember is the core thing or the core anatomy of this indicator is that it's a trend following indicator, it's a lagging indicator. So RSI we spoke about, it's a leading indicator, then came MACD, which is a lagging indicator, and then we will move to Parabolic SAR, that is stop and reverse. It is SAR is stop and reverse. It basically it trails the price as the trend extends over time. And it can also be considered as a trend following indicator. See, once a downtrend reverses and starts moving higher, the SAR will change its it changes the position, or in a way it acts as a trailing stop loss, both in case of a downtrend and uptrend. If we say the same thing in other words, PSAR never decreases in an uptrend, and it never, when the downtrend starts, it never goes above the price. So what happens that SAR is always placed on the top of the price during an downtrend, and it is always placed at the bottom of the price during an uptrend. So it will keep trailing the levels, and it will help you capture the bulk of the profits, and acts as a very beautiful tool when it comes to using it as a trailing stop loss levels in either way, either during a long trade or during your short trade. The indicator would stop and reverse, as I just said, when the price trend will reverse and breaks above or below the price. And this is how it looks. Just see, when the price are in a downtrend, the indicator is plotted on the top of the price. When the trend reversed, the indicator started to plot itself on itself below the price, and it continued to act as a trailing stop loss. By trailing, I mean that whenever the price would fall below this dot, it will trigger an exit. So let's now use these tools to deploy them on when it comes to trading the cryptos. So we will let me first quantify the buy rule. Buy rule will also mean squaring up shorts, if any. We can enter a buy into a crypto when it comes to when it satisfies either of the one condition. Either the MACD crosses above the signal line, or there is a parabolic buy signal that will make our buy. We will use the dynamic combination of MACD or RSI to make an exit from the longs. When we will exit? When MACD crosses below the signal line, or RSI slips below 70 from the overbought zone. Now, why are we using the lagging indicator to make an entry? Because the entry is so derived, will be more confirmed in the direction in which they are taken. And why do we use leading indicator to exit? See, there are two things. When there is absolute loss of momentum, when there is no momentum, when there is no strength of move, MACD or parabolic SAR will turn negative. Sometimes the SAR will, that will appear before the MACD signal. But what if the trend is intact? There is a trend, or there is a strength in the trend. Then the reason of using a leading indicator like RSI would be because the exits using RSI will come much before the exit that will be caused by MACD, and therefore it will help us protect the bulk of the profits. So I'll keep the screen on if the users need to, if the viewers need to note down the methods. And this is not the only method I would like to point out that is used in trading the cryptos. Ideally, we have deployed this method on 30-minute and 1-hour charts, but it can be used on any time frame charts. The only thing is that if you are using a different time frame, you need to tweak some of the default values of this. But we have been using this default values over 30-minute and 1-hour charts, and this is just for the viewers info. So I'll keep the screen on for a couple of more seconds, so that if at all anyone wants to note it down, this is, I reiterate, this is just one of the methods to trade cryptos. And I would also suggest that whenever you trade cryptos and whatever indicators you use, please, spend some time in educating yourself about the tools and the indicators that you are using. And I always say this thing in mostly all of my webinars, that before investing money for trading, before investing money in the markets, be it stock markets or cryptocurrencies, invest some time to educate yourself and to have take informed and educated decisions when it comes to trading, because it will help you survive the markets in the long term. So this brings me to end of this session, and if you have any questions, I would suggest that let's keep them ready, and as and when the time comes, I will try and answer them to the best of my ability. Over to you, Rekha.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. That was very informative. I would now like to introduce our second speaker of the day, Mr. Ajoy Pathak. He would be sharing his views and ideas on today's topic, top indicators of cryptocurrency. Mr. Ajoy comes with 20 years of rich experience in the field of training, research, and development. Being an early adapter of the new technology, Mr. Ajoy has great expertise in understanding the fundamentals of crypto and blockchain industry. His passion for training and education has got him a long way. Join me in welcoming Mr. Ajoy. Ajoy, hi.
Yeah, thanks, Rukhsar. Thanks a lot. Learn key takeaways from your session, that one should have a trading system and one should have a complete understanding and knowledge-based, framework for pursuing that. Those are really wonderful thoughts, and we should all try to employ that in our own trading systems and other things. So great. With the permission, I'll share my screen now. I'm going to talk a little bit about the kind of indicators that we see in this new asset class, which makes it even more interesting to, actually follow it, understand it, and take it forward in a much better fashion. So what I'm trying to do is in a last webinar, we talked about cryptocurrencies being an asset class in itself.
Ajoy, I'm sorry to cut you.
Yes.
Have you shared your screen, because you are in pause mode? Now we can see you, but not the screen, as in if you've shared your presentation.
लास्ट वेबिनार में हम लोगों ने ये देखा है कि क्रिप्टोकरेंसी एक अपना वर्चुअल एसेट क्लास है. So when we are taking on to any new asset class or something like that, the key idea that we discussed is that we should not kind of force fit into the definitions or the parameters of the other asset classes, and we should try to evolve an analytical framework for its own. We have to try to understand the instrument in its entirety, and then gradually develop an analytical framework around it, better our understanding with it, compare it with how it responds to different parameters of our analytical framework, and so on and so forth. Very much the same way that different indicators in the technical. Is my screen visible now? I have shared my screen.
Yes, cool. It is.
Great. So let's get along with it.
Sure.
So like what we were discussing is that every asset class, every asset should have its own analytical framework. So we'll try to understand cryptocurrencies in the light of its own in its entirety, so that I mean we can develop an analytical framework which helps us in taking decisions on the basis of some of the indicators that are there available today. Because एक तो बहुत बड़ा एडवांटेज ब्लॉकचेन का ये है कि ब्लॉकचेन इज एन ट्रांसपेरेंट लेजर सिस्टम, तो बहुत डेटा आता है उसमें, और वो डेटा जो भी आता है उसको अगर हम लोग असिमुलेट करें, कहीं पर एक जगह पर एक्यूमुलेट करें, and we try to reduce that data in understandable terms and other things, it gives us very insightful ideas about how do we want to participate with that particular asset class. And we should take advantage of this rich set of data and the indicators which the entire system offers us, brings to us. So today that's what we are going to discuss. We will try to understand the asset class a little bit more deeply than what we did last webinar. Then we will try to identify the different layers to the cryptocurrency value. We will discuss a few of the indicators, very interesting ones, and we will take a comprehensive approach to an analytical framework for the cryptocurrencies. तो अगर cryptocurrencies को हम लोग देखते हैं तो ये कॉन्फ्लुएंस है, यहाँ पर टेक्नोलॉजी, मार्केट सेंटिमेंट, कम्युनिटी पार्टिसिपेशन और बाकी मार्केट फोर्सेस का, ये सारी चीज का एक कॉन्फ्लुएंस तैयार होता है. सो बेसिकली सेइंग क्रिप्टोकरेंसीज एक डिजिटल टोकन है जहां पर क्रिप्टोग्राफी यूज होती है उसका सिक्योरिटी बढ़ाने के लिए, इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी यूज होती है नेटवर्क पार्टिसिपेंट्स में आपस में कम्युनिकेशन को प्रमोट करने के लिए, और एक प्रोटोकॉल और सिस्टम के थ्रू ये पूरा अपना काम करती रहती है. सो वन ऑफ द मेजर थिंग्स while valuing cryptocurrencies is the technology layer which they are using. सेकेंड, ये पूरा एक कम्युनिटी के थ्रू होता है, एक तो पीयर टू पीयर सिस्टम में, ये डिसेंट्रलाइज सिस्टम है, और यहाँ पर कम्युनिटी कितना पार्टिसिपेट कर रही है, कम्युनिटी के पास गवर्नेंस करने के लिए क्या क्या रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस हैं, हाउ डज द कम्युनिटी वांट टू टेक द सिस्टम फॉरवर्ड, ये भी बहुत ज्यादा मायने रखती है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर इथेरियम की बात हम लोग करते हैं तो इथेरियम कम्युनिटी में 2017 में DAO जब लॉन्च हुआ था तब एक तो बड़ा स्प्लिट आया था. पीपल थॉट कि इथेरियम का जो पहला वर्जन था that was a good version and Ethereum and they continued it as an Ethereum classic, जबकि कुछ improvements के बाद Ethereum relaunch हुआ था and today it is a larger network. So we have like seen a hard fork in the Ethereum at that point of time. And today we see two currencies of Ethereum Classic as well as Ethereum, the other Ethereum, the Ethereum Foundation wala Ethereum. Similarly, Bitcoin has also, various versions of Bitcoin is available. जहाँ पर community ये तय किया कि थोड़ा बहुत उसका 2 MB से block size 8 MB बढ़ा देते हैं तो Bitcoin Cash generate हुआ, and so on and so forth. So basically it also depends upon कि कम्युनिटी किस तरीके से उस पर्टिकुलर सिस्टम को गवर्न करना चाहता है, आगे लेकर जाना चाहती है, उसके ऊपर भी उसका वैल्यू डिपेंड करता है. देन ये एक इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी के सेंटर्ड सिस्टम है. सो बेसिकली कुछ पेमेंट्स होते हैं, कुछ ट्रांजैक्शंस होते हैं. सो यहाँ पर एक इकोनॉमिक लेयर भी आता है. These are also available for capitalization in the capital markets. आज आ गए हैं, बहुत सारे exchanges हैं, लोग real economy के साथ इसको जोड़ना चाहते हैं. Some people want to diversify their portfolios into cryptocurrencies and other things. So basically what we are seeing is कि cryptocurrencies धीरे धीरे अभी 10-12 साल अपने existence के बाद अभी mainstream जा रहा है, ज्यादा larger economic participation हो रहा है. तो आज एक market layer भी आप these 4 different layers in cryptocurrencies एक confluence होता है जो कि इसके value को देता है. So firstly there is a technology layer, then there is an economic layer, there is a social layer to it, and there is also a market layer to it. तो ये चारों चीज को समझना बहुत जरूरी है. किस टाइम में कौन चीज इसके value को impact कर रही है, ये भी हम लोग को समझना काफी जरूरी हो जाता है. टेक्नोलॉजी लेयर में क्या करना चाहिए कि फर्स्ट वी नीड टू डेवलप ए बेसिक अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ द टेक्नोलॉजी पावरिंग दिस एसेट क्लास. तो ए वेरी गुड पॉइंट टू स्टार्ट ऑफ विद वेयर द एवरीथिंग स्टार्टेड ऑफ व्हिच वाज द बिटकॉइन ब्लॉकचेन. तो बिटकॉइन का टेक्नोलॉजी जो है दैट इज लाइक द फादर ऑफ ऑल द डीएलटी एंड क्रिप्टो सिस्टम्स. तो दैट वाज द वेरी स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट. तो एक बार आदमी उसको हम लोग उसको अगर समझ जाते हैं, then building over understanding कि उसके ऊपर जो धीरे धीरे improvement हुआ है, how Ethereum is a little bit different from Bitcoin, then how Cardano is different from Ethereum, then how Polkadot is different from all 3 others. तो ये इन सब का टेक्नोलॉजी को अलग अलग तरीके से समझने का हम लोग को एक बेसिक फ्रेमवर्क मिल जाता है. And that is the way one should be start. You have to first understand how it all started off and then look into how relatively things have improved over a period of time with the launch of every other blockchain system or an DLT system out there. और यहाँ पर जो प्रोटोकॉल्स इसको पावर करती है स्पेसिफिक क्रिप्टो सिस्टम को, वो भी समझना काफी जरूरी होता है. Few of the things which one should keep in mind is key to understand the technological framework of that particular blockchain or the DLT system. कि डेटा को ब्लॉक्स में रखते हैं या क्रिप्टोग्राफिक ट्रांजैक्शन टू ट्रांजैक्शन सॉल्व करके जा रहे हैं. ठीक है, एक चेन चला रहे हैं कि 4 चेन चला रहे हैं. अगर सॉफ्ट फोर्क्स होता है तो वहां पर जो पैरेलल ब्लॉक्स तैयार होता है उसको हम लोग किस तरीके से यूज कर रहे हैं, स्टफ लाइक दैट. किस तरीके से सिस्टम में स्पीड बढ़ाया जा रहा है, किस तरीके से सिस्टम में स्केलेबिलिटी बढ़ाया जा रहा है, किस तरीके से सिस्टम में डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन को लेकर के आया जा रहा है. ये सारा चीज आपको वो ब्लॉकचेन और डीएलटी सिस्टम्स के प्राप्त होगा. नेक्स्ट important point is how the system is using the cryptographic proof of transaction as a source of trust. ये सब decentralized protocol का one big आप कह सकते हैं उद्देश्य या पर्पस जो है वो हो रहा है कि ट्रस्टेड सेंट्रल थर्ड पार्टी जो सिस्टम में ट्रस्ट लेकर के आती थी उसको रिप्लेस कर रहे हैं हम लोग क्रिप्टोग्राफिक प्रूफ ऑफ ट्रांजैक्शन के साथ. देयरफॉर इट बिकम्स वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट टू अंडरस्टैंड कि जो क्रिप्टोग्राफिक प्रूफ ऑफ ट्रांजैक्शन हम लोग ट्रस्ट करने वाले हैं वो कितना ट्रस्ट वर्दी है, वो कैसे करके वेरीफाई हो रहा है, कैसे करके वैलिडेट हो रहा है, एंड हाउ इज द सिस्टम अनहैकेबल और अनबीटेबल काइंड ऑफ एनीथिंग. तो ये सब भी आपको जानना जरूरी होता है. अगर सिस्टम में कोई लूप होल रह जाता है देन ऑब्वियसली इट्स वैल्यू गोज डाउन, बट अगर सिस्टम फुल प्रूफ रहता है तो ऑब्वियसली उसका इन फ्यूचर एक बहुत अच्छा वैल्यू बन सकता है. एंड देयरफॉर यू कैन पार्टिसिपेट इनटू इट विद मच मोर कॉन्फिडेंस. फिर वर्किंग प्रिंसिपल्स क्या है उस सिस्टम का, कैसे करके सिस्टम मेंटेन होता है, किस तरीके से ट्रांजैक्शंस जनरेट हो रहे हैं, वेरीफाई हो रहे हैं, वैलिडेट हो रहे हैं, जो लेजर कीपिंग सिस्टम है वो लेजर कीपिंग सिस्टम को किस तरीके से मेंटेन किया जा रहा है, एंड हु आर बेसिकली द पीपल हु आर डूइंग दैट. तो ये सारा चीज भी जानना बहुत जरूरी हो जाता है. ऑल दिस थिंग्स इज ऑल्सो प्रोवाइडिंग कि नेटवर्क का टोटल स्ट्रेंथ क्या है और नेटवर्क का टोटल वैल्यू क्या है. एक चीज समझना यहाँ पर बहुत जरूरी होता है क्योंकि ये सारा चीज इज कम्युनिटी ड्रिवन. करेक्ट. सो टेक्नोलॉजी में स्ट्रेंथ तभी आएगा जब कम्युनिटी उसको बैक करेगी. तो नंबर ऑफ पार्टिसिपेंट्स अगर ज्यादा होता है, उसका हैश रेट अगर ज्यादा होता है, एंड वेरियस अदर इंडिकेटर्स आर देयर, वो हम लोग थोड़ा देर के बाद जानेंगे. तो ये सारा चीज भी उस सिस्टम को ज्यादा वैल्यूएबल बनाती है, ज्यादा रोबस्ट बनाती है. to understand the technology layer and the indicators which are there in the technology, it is very important that you download the white paper of the project and collect all the basic information about it, like how the components are designed, how the system runs, वगैरह वगैरह ये सब चीज. And then you do a comparative analysis with other such systems. So relative valuation आपको पता चल जाएगा, relative benefits क्या पता है, क्या drawbacks है, ये सारा चीज पता चल जाएगा. The second layer which we find in cryptographic systems is the economic layer. यहाँ पर basically इसको हम लोग बोलते हैं tokenomics. यहाँ पर कैसे करके incentives structure में system में structure किए हुए हैं. कोई भी आकर के कुछ भी participate कर रहा है, like let's say very example, people are spending the computational power to do two very important things: to verify the transactions, validate the transactions, and adding the transactions to the final ledger. तो ये सारा चीज जो कर रहा है उसको कैसे करके इंसेंटिवाइज किया जा रहा है. उस इंसेंटिवाइजेशन में इगैलिटेरियनिज्म है कि नहीं, इन द सेंस कि is everybody an equal participant to the system, or it is like reserved for few chosen few kind of a thing. ठीक है, तो कैसे करके इंसेंटिव स्ट्रक्चर होते हैं, कैसे करके एक्टिविटीज जो डिफरेंट एक्टिविटीज कैरी आउट करने होते हैं वो कैसे करके मोटिवेट होते हैं विद द इंसेंटिव्स एंड सो दैट. प्लस देखना पड़ेगा कि डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन कितना है, जहां से पता चलता है कि ये गवर्नेंस एस्पेक्ट्स में कितना अच्छा है नहीं है. लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल, आज अगर ये सेंट्रलाइज सिस्टम है, कल को आर्बिट्ररीली उसका गवर्नेंस पैरामीटर्स जो है वो चेंज हो सकती है. लेकिन अगर एक डिसेंट्रलाइज सिस्टम है तो फिर हमेशा मेजॉरिटी जो है उसके हिसाब से ही चलेगी. सो अगर पूरी कम्युनिटी में मेजॉरिटी ये डिसाइड करता है कि ठीक है, वी वांट टू चेंज द सिस्टम फ्रॉम वन सिस्टम टू अनदर सिस्टम, एंड देन एवरीवन एक्सेप्ट्स इट, देन इट बिकम्स a much more better system to carry on with, rather than half the system wanting a different thing and half the system wanting a different thing. तो यहाँ पर ये devaluation आ जाता है, कम्युनिटी में स्प्लिट आ जाता है, और वो उस पर्टिकुलर क्रिप्टो करेंसी के वैल्यूएशंस में थोड़ा सा सिग्निफिकेंट अमाउंट ऑफ डिवैल्यूएशन आ जाता है. People lose confidence upon those. So the governance aspects also become very much important. Then और एक चीज देखना पड़ेगा कि सिस्टम जो है वो सिस्टम में कैपेबिलिटीज क्या क्या है. लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ यू कंपेयर द बिटकॉइन सिस्टम में टैप रूट अपग्रेडेशन के बाद ही स्मार्ट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स फैसिलिटीज आए हैं, लेकिन अभी भी वो अनएक्सप्लोर्ड एरिया है. ओके, whereas Ethereum from 2015, like from its inception, only had that smart contract capability inside it. Okay, so basically क्या हुआ है, the relative valuation अगर देखा जाए 2015 के बाद से आज बिटकॉइन का, बिटकॉइन dominance has actually gone down to from about 70 to 80% to about 40% today, जहाँ की Ethereum का dominance has gone up to 20% almost. So in the long run, it seems that because of proliferation in the usability of Ethereum system is becoming a much more valuable system than the Bitcoin system. जबकि Bitcoin का system, although it is robust, but it is a slower system and it can only record transactions between peer to peer. It's just a payment system. It's an electronic cash system. उसका objective भी वही था, to bring about decentralized systems into play, but उसका various other applications in business and ये सब जो हो सकता था, ये सब नहीं था उस टाइम में. So that brings us to the next aspect कि अगर जो system है, that system how much it is applicable onto the current economic functions, so that the economic value added into by the system is much more better. Okay, so ये सारे चीज भी थोड़े से देखने पड़ेंगे. एप्लीकेशन कितना है, उसके अराउंड इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी कितना हो रहा है, उसका सेक्टर स्पेसिफिक स्टडी कितना हो रहा है, एंड ऑल दिस थिंग्स, और उसका कॉस्ट इम्प्लीमेंटेशन का कॉस्ट बेनिफिट क्या है. इफ इट इज टू कॉस्टली देन द बेनिफिट दैट यू कैन एक्सट्रैक्ट आउट ऑफ इट, तो मतलब उसका मतलब नहीं बनता है. ठीक है, देन यू ऑल्सो हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड द बेनिफिट्स जो वो सिस्टम को इम्प्लीमेंट करके मिलेगा एज एन इंडिविजुअल, फॉर एन इंस्टीट्यूशन, या पूरे इंडस्ट्री को क्या मिल सकता है, थिंग्स लाइक दैट. अगर प्रोलिफरेशन बढ़ता है, लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल जैसे कि स्मार्ट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एप्लीकेशन के साथ इथेरियम का प्रोलिफरेशन बढ़ता है, एप्लीकेशंस बढ़ता है, we have seen that in the last year, there were a lot of DeFi projects which were launched on Ethereum. And also towards the end of the last year and start of this year, we have seen that Ethereum has supported NFTs, and NFTs have become a big segment altogether. So isse kya hua hai, we have seen that Ethereum value has gone up to about $4,000 now, and also Ethereum gas fees has gone up tremendously high. सो इससे हम लोग को पता चलता है कि इथेरियम का डिमांड बढ़ रहा है, इथेरियम नेटवर्क का डिमांड बढ़ रहा है और उसका कैपेबिलिटीज भी बढ़ रहा है. तो because the economic activity involving Ethereum is going up. Okay, we have not seen such kind of a proliferation in Bitcoin. What we have seen in Bitcoin in 2020 is the institutional adoption of it. So ये सारा factors जो है ये भी थोड़ा सा हम लोग को स्टडी करना पड़ेगा. स्टडी करके हम लोग समझ पाएंगे कि इकोनॉमिक वैल्यू एडेड कितना हो रहा है, लोग कितना वैल्यू करना स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं, थिंग्स लाइक दैट. नाउ एडॉप्शन का जैसे ही बात करते हैं, देन वी गेट टू द सोशल लेयर ऑफ द क्रिप्टो करेंसी. दैट्स आल्सो वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग कि इसका एडॉप्शन और इम्प्लीमेंटेशन जितना बढ़ेगा वो सिस्टम का टोटल नेटवर्क वैल्यू उतना ही बढ़ेगा. ओके, सो दिस इज फॉलोइंग द मेटकाफेस लॉ डायरेक्टली, सेइंग कि एक तो नेटवर्क का, आई मीन दिस इज वेरी मच लाइक कि एक तो टेक्नोलॉजी सिस्टम कितना अडॉप्टेड होता है, जितना अडॉप्टेड होगा एक्सपोनेंशियली उसका वैल्यू उतना बढ़ेगा, उससे उसका इकोनॉमिक वैल्यू एडिशन भी उससे उतना ही बढ़ेगा. सोशल लेयर में हम लोग देखते हैं कि अडॉप्शन और इम्प्लीमेंटेशन कैसा चल रहा है, जो पोटेंशियल बेनिफिट्स हैं उसके रियलाइजेशन प्रोजेक्ट्स कैसे करके बढ़ रहे हैं, किस तरीके का ओपिनियन बिल्डिंग हो रहा है, किस तरीके का उसका मार्केट आउटरीच हो रहा है, एंटरप्राइजेस कैसे उसको अडॉप्ट कर रहे हैं, यूटिलाइज अडॉप्टर्स लोग को या नेटवर्क वैलिडेटर्स लोग को या कम्युनिटी को, ये कैसे करके सस्टेनेबल हो रहा है. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि जब अडॉप्शन बढ़ता जाए तब उसका इंसेंटिव स्ट्रक्चर जो है वो घटता जाए और इस एक ना एक टाइम पे वो अनसस्टेनेबल हो जाए. तो फिर उसका लॉन्ग टर्म इम्प्लीकेशंस होता है और शुरुआत में ही लोग उसको रिजेक्ट कर देंगे ये सारे प्रोटोकॉल्स को. So the social layer is also very important to understand how a cryptocurrency should be valued. And then with the recent windows of connection of the crypto systems to the real world economic systems, which are basically the exchanges, that we see a lot of things happening. We are seeing a lot of project finances happening through the digital route, through STO, ICOs earlier, now STOs, and other financing projects, crowdfunding projects coming into. We are seeing a lot of capitalization happening. You know, I mean, exchange listings and other things. हम लोग देख रहे हैं कि रिस्क परसेप्शन इसका जो है वो बदल रहा है और रिस्क मैनेजमेंट सॉल्यूशंस आ रहे हैं. So recently we have seen launch of lot of derivatives markets about it. Perpetual futures एक तो नया product आ गया है derivatives में. ठीक है, we are seeing a lot of different participation modes. Earlier खाली buy and hold strategy में होता था, लेकिन अभी arbitrages start हो गए हैं in a big way, and arbitrages are basically making the market differences or market imperfections much more perfect. So in a way we have seen that with the inculcation of the market layer, cryptocurrencies के adoption में या उसके total value में बहुत बड़ा proliferation आया है. And also it has become much more tuned into the market sentiments. तो आज अगर Fed कोई भी डॉलर पे डिसीजन लेता है तो क्रिप्टो करेंसी के प्राइसेस में इंपैक्ट आते हैं उसके. तो ये सारे लिंकेजेस बैठना स्टार्ट हो गया है, and these are into the purview of the market layer of cryptocurrency valuations. So just to take an overview of some of the indicators that we have discussed about, आज टेक्नोलॉजी लेयर इंडिकेटर्स में नेटवर्क एक्टिविटी, ऑन चेन एक्टिविटी आपको मिल सकता है. लाइक टोटल एड्रेसेस क्या है, नए एड्रेसेस कितने हैं, कितने एड्रेसेस एक्टिव हैं, कितने एक्टिव डिपॉजिट्स हो रहे हैं, नेटवर्क कैसे करके ग्रो कर रहा है, सो एंड सो फोर्थ. ठीक है, नेटवर्क का हैश रेट क्या है, इससे आपको पता चलता है कि कम्युनिटी कितना रोबस्ट है. आज मेमपूल साइज क्या है, तो ट्रांजैक्शंस कितने ज्यादा बढ़ रहे हैं, mempool size अगर बढ़ता है तो basically it says that the transaction demand of that particular system is going up. Sovereign holdings कितने हैं, मतलब कि कितने लोग अपने ही वॉलेट्स में ये क्रिप्टो करेंसी को होल्ड करके रखे हैं, एंड नॉट इन एनी एक्सचेंज वॉलेट्स एंड थिंग्स लाइक दैट. तो ये सारा चीज आपको एक टेक्नोलॉजी लेयर इंडिकेटर्स बनते हैं. और भी है, बट आई एम जस्ट डिस्कसिंग ए फ्यू ऑफ देम which are very interesting and gives very good insights about the networks technology ka adoption. Then there are techno financial indicators also, like MVRV, this is market value to realized value. So market value to realized value is basically एक ratio है which can value which starts from zero, और 0 से 1 के बीच में जब रहता है ये, तो बेसिकली हम लोग ये बोलते हैं कि ये नेटवर्क अंडर वैल्यूड है, और 1 के ऊपर जाता है तो हम लोग बोलते हैं कि अभी ओवर वैल्यूड हो गया है. ठीक है, तो वी एक्सपेक्ट सम काइंड ऑफ एन करेक्शन कमिंग इनटू दैट. मार्केट वैल्यू इज नथिंग बट द करंट मार्केट प्राइस और द करंट मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर सिस्टम, whereas realized value is basically the acquisition price. So basically क्या होता है कि जो भी नया कॉइन्स आ रहे हैं वो किस प्राइस पे आए हैं, एंड थिंग्स लाइक दैट. सो वहां से लेकर के आज जितना भी एक्सेस मार्केट रिटर्न्स आया है फ्रॉम टू द डिफरेंट थिंग्स, वो हो रहा है MVRV. और 0 to 1 के बीच में हम लोग बोलते हैं कि दिस इज अंडर वैल्यूड. जब भी अंडर वैल्यूड रहता है, द पोटेंशियल फॉर इट टू गो अप इज स्टिल देयर, और जब भी ओवर वैल्यूड हो जाता है तो वी आर एक्सपेक्टिंग इन करेक्शन. Then we also get network value to transaction ratios. ये बेसिकली आपका डेली मार्केट कैप डिवाइडेड बाय डेली सर्कुलेशन इस तरीके से होता है. आप इंट्राडे मार्केट कैप रोलिंग सर्कुलेशन से भी जो भी एडेड सर्कुलेशन है उससे भी आप एक एनवीटी निकाल सकते हो. द एनवीटी gives you ki how popular it is becoming, whether it is losing popularity because of various figures, factors, like let's say for example high transaction fees, okay, or some other protocol coming and replacing some of the value, and so on and so forth. So NVT also becomes a very good techno financial indicator to understand ki how the value of the particular system will proceed in the future. Also the network profit and loss is a indicator which will give you like the financial aspects की लोग acquisition किस प्राइस पे किए हैं, अभी होल्ड कर रहे हैं कि नहीं कर रहे हैं, total number of people who are in profit, so they would like to at some certain point of time book in their profits. If that becomes too heavy, or if I mean it's kind of imbalanced, half of the people are in profit, half of the people are in loss, so we can expect some kind of market capability. And also coin age value जो बोलता है कि whales कितने हैं, holders कितने हैं, कितने दिन से वो लोग होल्ड करके रखे हैं, and so and so forth. So ये बहुत सारे इंडिकेटर्स हैं जो कि आपको नेटवर्क का वैल्यू के हिसाब से नेटवर्क में कितना वैल्यू अभी जनरेट हुआ है उसके को बता सकते हैं कि कितने लोग इसमें पार्टिसिपेट किए हुए विद पॉजिटिव सेंटीमेंट, और कितने लोग इसको नेगेटिव सेंटीमेंट इसका छोड़ रहे हैं, so and so forth. Then there could be a lot of social indicators, and these are playing a huge role in knee-jerk price reactions nowadays, and it makes a lot of crowd sense because today everything is moving as per the social adoption kind of thing. In social indicators, we get community message count, social media platform trends, sentiment metrics, social dominance, social volume, unique social volume, and so on and so forth. तो यहाँ पर अगर एक्टिविटीज ज्यादा होती है तो ऑब्वियसली वी कैन एक्सपेक्ट सम काइंड ऑफ एन प्राइस एक्शन कमिंग इनटू प्ले. पीपल आर गेटिंग इंटरेस्टेड, and people's reaction could be positive, could be negative, depending upon how the social media is actually trending, and so on and so forth. So ये भी देखना बहुत जरूरी हो जाता है, so as to avoid surprises, कि अचानक से कोई आकर के कुछ बोल देता है और किसी चीज का प्राइसेस गिर जाता है, and these kind of events are very common in crypto markets, and we should take it into consideration. With the proliferation of market instruments and other things, we get a lot of market indicators today. We get a lot of financial metrics like market capitalization, total circulation, traded volumes of different cryptocurrencies. We get derivative market metrics जो कि हम लोग अक्सर use करते हैं for derivative valuations and other things. So we have volume and open interest, perpetual derivatives का we have funding rates, and we have the basis, which is the difference between the spot and the futures markets, and so on and so forth. We also have DeFi market metrics like total value locked and other things. So बहुत सारे नए market indicators भी आ रहे हैं depending upon कौन कौन सा market segment आ रहा है, क्या क्या market में नए instruments आ रहे हैं, and so on and so forth. So we need to keep a track of all these things, and while keeping a track of all these things, analyzing this entire segment becomes much more, so much more insightful and interesting to track. I'd like to talk about one indicator which is, becoming very much popular, which is the fear and greed index. So this is kind of crypto market sentiment analysis karta hai, involving different factors. So one hand there is an fear, and one hand there is a greed kind of a thing. जो आज के डेट में it shows a metric of 22, which is indicating an extreme fear kind of a thing. जब ज्यादा fear होता है या फिर ये बहुत सारा fear के पास चला जाता है, then you can say that okay, market is kind of oversold kind of a situation, and you can expect the markets to bounce back from these levels. और बहुत ज्यादा greed आ जाता है market में, तो you can say that the market is in the overbought zone, and the market should need to correct very much soon. So this is kind of a self-correcting index, and it's a very good indicator to how the market sentiments are, how the customer sentiments are, and depending upon which you can, kind of predict how the market, is expected to move in the future. ये इंडिकेटर में जो कंपोनेंट्स यूज करते हैं फियर एंड ग्रीड इंडेक्स को बनाने में, वो हो रहा है वोलेटिलिटी जो 25% होता है, मार्केट मोमेंटम टू वॉल्यूम ये 25% होता है, सोशल मीडिया एंड सर्वेस जो है ये 15% ईच यूज होता है, एंड एक पर्टिकुलर कॉइन का डोमिनेंस क्या है और उसके प्राइस ट्रेंड्स क्या है, ये 10% में इंडिकेटर के कंपोनेंट्स है. तो ये सारे मल्टीफैक्टोरियल कंपोनेंट्स को लेकर के ये फियर एंड ग्रीड इंडेक्स बनाया जाता है, and this is a very good indicator to the market sentiments or the consumer sentiment over there. You can participate in these markets with strategies like buy and hold spot assets kind of a strategy, जहां पर ये indicators के studies आपको बहुत help करेंगे to understand कि कौन से crypto currencies को आप buy and hold strategy में लेकर के आ सकते हैं, और you can use the arbitrage वाला section of CryptoWire, and you can find out very interesting arbitrage opportunities between exchanges from the CryptoWire app, and you can execute them. And arbitrage is a very good way of participating into this, because you are not having a naked position at any point of time. You are having one buy or one sell position always, which is basically saying that market imperfections जो है, वो imperfections जो opportunity रहती है, उस opportunity को हम लोग use कर रहे हैं. Otherwise, what you can do is that you can also, kind of take index investing, which says that okay, it's an indicator to the entire crypto market. It's a good mix of the crypto assets which is there today. If you have a look at the total number of crypto assets which are listed, you'll find about 16,000 plus crypto assets. So that itself becomes a very big number to track and decide from, which becomes much more easier if you go for an index investing kind of thing. So that's it. I think that brings us to this topic, end of this topic, and I hope the listeners today will have benefited that there's a lot amount of indicators which are available both in the technical areas as well as in the network, technological, social and other things, which has a bearing onto the prices of this. and once one starts tracking them, one can put them to good.
Cool. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you.
Thank you to both the speakers for taking out time and sharing their views on today's webinar and the topic. I really appreciate your efforts taken to enlighten us on the world of crypto and blockchain. I would also like to thank all the wonderful participants who have shown keen interest in learning and making informed decisions before entering the crypto market. I would now ask both the speakers to kindly address the questions raised by the audience. I will be taking up the questions. So the first question that we've got is, this is for Milan. Why would you not use lagging indicators to exit any trade?
We would not use lagging indicators because, as I just said, that lagging indicators they tend to produce signals much after the price action. So it happens that you lose bulk of the profits by the time you wait for the lagging indicator to suggest you an exit. So that's the reason we prefer exiting either the trend reversing indicators like the Parabolic Sar or the leading indicators, but certainly not the lagging indicators.
Cool. Thank you so much, sir. I have a second question which is coming for Ajoy. Are there any salient characteristics of this asset class which sets it apart from other asset class?
Definitely. I mean, as I mentioned, cryptocurrencies are an asset class which is a confluence of technical, social, and market and economic factors all put together. So you have to understand the purview of this thing. Cryptocurrencies are digital tokens which are generated and transacted in a blockchain system. Now, the blockchain system came into existence with the objective that the central third-party trust, a centralized trust, will be replaced from central authorities to cryptographic proof of transaction. So it talks about disintermediation. It talks about reducing the transaction cost and other things. So that's a sea change, in a way of how we have been doing things earlier to the new way of doing things, basically writing ledgers, nothing else. तो यहाँ पर obviously बहुत सारा changes आ जाएगा, and if we try to force fit into any of the asset classes like stocks, they are an animal of their own, commodities are an animal of their own, bonds are an animal of their own, currencies are a different asset class altogether. तो ये सभी के अपने अपने characteristics होते हैं. So similarly cryptocurrency की भी अपने अपने characteristics होती है. तो ये सारे चीजों में एक दूसरे के ऊपर फोर्स फिट करना कभी भी ठीक नहीं रहेगा. तो ये सबको अलग अलग अपने अपने नजरिए से देखना ज्यादा फायदेमंद होता है, rather than trying to look at one from the other's prism. That's the whole point.
Thank you, Ajoy. The third question is coming for Milan sir. What is the time frame that one should use while trading crypto?
टाइम फ्रेम्स इसमें जो भी आपकी ट्रेडिंग सिस्टम या मेथड्स को सूट करती है वो आप यूज कर सकते हैं, बट आई हैव बीन यूजिंग द 30 मिनट एंड 1 आवर टाइम.
ओके,
इट्स वेरी मच डायनामिक. जो भी आपकी मेथड्स को या रूल्स को सूट करता है वो आप यूज कर सकते हैं.
Sure. Again, there is a question coming for Milan sir. Anything specific that one needs to keep in mind while trading crypto?
इसमें दो चीजें हैं. एक तो यहाँ पे इंडिया में CFD ट्रेडिंग या फ्यूचर्स, जिसे इन अ वेरी नॉर्मल ले पर्सन्स लैंग्वेज कहते हैं, CFDs तो अलाउड नहीं है. तो बेसिक चीज यही ध्यान में रखनी है कि बेसिक आप अपना होमवर्क करें. कुछ जो भी टूल्स आप यूज करते हैं उससे थोड़ा अपने आप को एजुकेट करें. Spend some time and invest some time on yourself before you start investing in the market. This I will repeat again. और जो कोई भी है जो कि इंडिया के बाहर जहाँ पे CFDs जिसे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट फॉर डिफरेंसेस कहते हैं, वो अगर अवेलेबल रहता है तो वहाँ पे बहुत ज्यादा लिवरेज होता है. सो आई वुड सजेस्ट देम दैट दे शुड अंडरस्टैंड द रिस्क very well before they actually go out and doing something with the cryptos in the actual market. अपना रिस्क समझे, अगर वो लिवरेज से डील करते हैं इंडिया के बाहर, इंडिया में अलाउड नहीं है CFDs, लेकिन बाहर भी लोग ट्रेड करते हैं, तो उनको समझना ये जरूरी है, ये लाजमी भी है कि लिवरेज क्या कर सकता है, जैसे ज्यादा मुनाफा दे सकता है वैसे लॉसेस भी उतने ज्यादा करवा सकता है. सो दे नीड टू know their risks well before they actually put their hand into the trade.
Right, obviously. There is one question now which is coming for Ajoy. There are plenty of cryptocurrencies. Where to begin? Which one are good and which one are bad?
हाँ, बहुत सारे क्रिप्टो करेंसीज हैं आज. अगर आप देखें तो 16,500 के ऊपर क्रिप्टो करेंसीज लिस्टेड हो गए हैं. हाउ टू बिगिन? आई थिंक टू क्रिएट अ स्मॉल पोर्टफोलियो, थोड़ा डाइवर्सिफाई करके पोर्टफोलियो बनाइए. कुछ लेयर 1 सॉल्यूशन कॉइन्स डालिए, कुछ लेयर 2 सॉल्यूशन कॉइन्स डालिए, कुछ डिफाई प्रोजेक्ट्स लीजिए. डिफाई में भी बहुत सारे प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं, जैसे कि बोरोइंग लेंडिंग हो गया, इंश्योरेंस हो गया, DAOs हो गए, डेक्सेस हो गया. तो ये इन सब के एक एक दो कॉइन्स भी आप अगर लेती हैं तो फिर यू हैव एन 15-16 कॉइन का पोर्टफोलियो आपका बन ही जाता है. यू हैव टू आई मीन, अगर थीमेटिक करना चाहे तो थीमेटिक तरीके से एक बास्केट बना लीजिए एंड देन स्टार्ट इन्वेस्टिंग इनटू इट. मेरे ख्याल से one should start small, invest regularly in small quantities, and also keep on doing their research much more prolifically, and increase their participation.
Right. Now, I think it's in continuation to the same question, but this is for Milind sir. Where would you generally find data if one wants to follow crypto, and which software offers charting and data?
इसमें दो चीजें हैं. अगर सिर्फ डेटा चाहिए, if you just want to know the price, I think your platform is already there, which is listing the most of the cryptocurrencies. तो बेसिक प्राइस डेटा तो आप यहीं से ले सकते हैं. और अगर आपको एनालिसिस करना है, then you will require a charting software. जहां तक मेरा सवाल है, personally speaking, I use Optima, where you will find which is a very very good a charting software, जहां पे डेटा भी आपको मिल जाएगा. और अगर वेब बेस्ड कुछ यूज करना है तो आई थिंक ट्रेडिंग इज समथिंग दैट यू कैन लुक एट. आई मेनली यूज ऑप्टिमा. और बट अगर लाइव प्राइसेस भी चाहिए देन वी हैव ट्रेडिंग भी, और बाकी 2-3 ऐसे हैं प्लेटफॉर्म जो कि दे रहे हैं.
Okay. Cool. So there's one question which has just come in. How to invest in crypto index? Are there more than one crypto index? Either of you all can take the question.
I think investing in the crypto index is not possible, क्योंकि ये proprietary index है, जैसे कि एक आपने बना रखा है. It's not traded on any of the platforms. So index है वो एक overall it is just a means and measure to gauge the health of the asset class. लेकिन मुझे नहीं लगता कि आप इंडेक्स को जैसे कि आप निफ्टी खरीद पाते हैं, बिकॉज इट्स ए रिकॉग्नाइज्ड फ्यूचर्स कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, इट्स एन इंस्ट्रूमेंट. वेयरएज क्रिप्टो इंडेक्स, जहां तक वेयरएज माय नॉलेज स्ट्रेचेस, it's not something that you can buy and sell.
Thank you.
I might be wrong and you can correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong, Milan, but there is a way. I mean, just suggest, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. देखिए, crypto index जो है, there is a basket of 15 cryptocurrencies, right, which excludes the stable coins. तो बहुत ज्यादा नहीं है इसमें, मतलब 30, 40, 50 तो नहीं है. 15 coin है, and like how I was saying that you can create a portfolio of 15 to start off with. Or crypto index is a very balanced approach kind of a thing, and you have kind of an guiding light to start investing into that. You see the index का performance कैसा रहा है, and how it is anticipated, what kind of returns it is giving against the traditional investments like stocks, benchmark stock indices or bond indices and other things. So इसका जो portfolio allocation है, उस portfolio allocation could be copied onto your spot trades. और जब ये rebalance होता है, उस तरीके से आप अपना portfolio को rebalance कर लीजिए every quarterly. One could also try and do this and then participate and proliferate. एक holding hand मिल जाता है, काम आसान हो जाता है for initiation. So that could also be done.
Great. So I think that answers Rajat's question. I think we don't have any more questions. So I would like to thank both of you all for answering all the questions of the participants. I welcome all the crypto enthusiasts to please download the CryptoWire app today and be a part of the global learning. We would request all of you to please share your valuable feedbacks on the session. We shall be also issuing a participation certificate to all the attendees. Request you to kindly fill the feedback form to process the same. Thank you for attending the webinar. We will now be meeting all of you all on our next webinar, which is on the 15th Jan. The topic we shall be covering for this webinar would be blockchain real life use case in agriculture sector. We look forward to your participation in this next webinar. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ajoy.
Thank you.
Get well soon, Ajoy.